feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the post-show wrap-up video here on the Central Pennsylvania Shrimp Tank. I'm your co-host Nathan Imboden, alongside co-host. He's normally Bougie Shrimp, but today he's Festive Santa,
Drunken
Chimney Shrimp. I don't know. Hey, we just got done interviewing Bob McCormack of Murphy McCormack on the show, and you can find a full replay on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/CentralPA. Also, be sure to find our channel, The Central PA Shrimp Tank, anywhere you can get podcasts. Make sure you subscribe if you're willing to. Give us reviews. We'd love to hear from you to find out how we can be better providing you guys information about our amazing entrepreneurs and business owners right here in our backyard. And again, you don't want to miss Bob's interview. He has so much experience related to working with business owners, and he has a unique perspective because he is a business owner with the firm. And we talked a lot about valuations, and we're going to touch on that a little bit today. We talked about his background, and we found a little bit of a personal story about his touch of, what would it be? The luck of the Irish, I guess, is what the best way to say it. Yep. And some fantastic ice cream that hopefully, if regulations can drop, we'll be able to enjoy that stateside at some point. But again, check out that full replay on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/CentralPA. And Bob, thanks again for being on the podcast earlier and for being here on the post-show wrap-up video. Why don't you just give a brief introduction of yourself, the firm, and then specifically talk about that story of really what drove you to start the business and get into this.
Sure. Thank you, Dan. I'm thrilled to be here, despite the outfit. I like this one better.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I'm Bob McCormack. I'm an investment banker and managing partner for Murphy McCormack Capital Advisors. We are a regional investment banking firm that covers pretty much the whole state, northern part of Maryland, New Jersey, southern tier of New York, and also incoming chair of the National M&A Association, M&A Source. Firm of about 12 people. We focus primarily on closely held businesses with a philosophy of being client-centered and being very driven towards the needs of the clients. That back to Nate's question on the story that drove me to this. When I was a CEO of a bank, one of my clients from both Core States days and SunBank days employed or hired somebody to do a business valuation for him, paid a good six-figure number for the valuation, and then with the premise of also selling the business, and never saw him again. And
ouch.
It was an ouch, and we saw that happen multiple times over a 20+ year in commercial banking, and saw a need and a gap in the marketplace. So one of the benefits of selling your bank is you do get a severance package, and you have the ability to maybe not take a big salary right away and really focus on what the client needs are. So that was the premise when we started the firm. My partner, Sandy Miller, shares that philosophy. We're very client-centered. And so we don't get into those big upfront fees, and we really focus on providing the solutions to the clients, and even if it means 3, 5, 10 years before we see a paycheck on that.
Right.
And we think we built a reputation around that, and we think it's the best interest of the client to deliver it that way.
Well, and you touched on we talked about the movie The Big Short, and this perception of the if you haven't seen the movie, these mortgage brokers that are just, they're solely focused on deals. How many deals can I sell? It doesn't matter who we're taking advantage of. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, just looking at it as a transaction. And that was the experience that led to that. But we talked a little bit on the show about how just internally, you have to have a different mentality working with you guys, with Murphy McCormack internally, to be able to think about, well, this may not actually compensate me for 5 years.
And that's a great point, Nick. We will spend, our guys are compensated more heavily on commissions. And if that commission is 3 to 5 years out, you need a philosophy that's shared with our team, our owner's philosophy. That's okay. That's in the best interest of the client. Now, we hope we help reinforce that by spending a ton of money on education and other things to make a quality of life fun and good for the team. And I think they feel good about the outcomes. But you really have to find the right team when you do that too.
Yeah.
And it does take some time. We look for partners like you guys that share that philosophy too, because you may not get a paycheck
Right.
for 5-10 years
Right.
with some of those clients too.
Exactly. Well, I already got your permission, but for those watching, if you go to the website, we're going to give you a list of 5 questions that Bob said on the show that you need to ask if you're looking to engage with M&A team or a business broker to make sure you're doing some due diligence to avoid this horror story that his 2004 example went through. So let's talk a little bit about valuation and why it's so important. That's a core part about what you guys do and offer. But why is it so important?
We really see and we're going to talk about the stress test in a moment here, but we see 2 early components that every business owner should really look at on a regular basis. One is the business valuation piece. You need to know what your business is worth, but beyond knowing what it is worth, understand where there could be a valuation gap. And a good valuation will identify those gaps, will identify the post-tax proceeds, whether it's a internal sale or sale to family members or sale to a third party or some sort of transition. Really understand where those gaps are. Those gaps are often also good to fill from just your pure running the business. They're good business tools, and as an ex-commercial banker, they're often the same things that a commercial banker sees as risk. And if you can mitigate those risks, valuation is relatively simple. It's the value of the cash flow stream to value risk. I mean, that's your whole lives too. And if you can mitigate those risks and improve the cash flow stream, you fundamentally increase the value. If you focus on the taxes as you do that analysis, you're going to have a much better outcome for all parties involved. And then you can get your wish list done of things like what's the best for the employees, what's best for the community, can I keep my brand, all those type of things that business owners care about if you do that work up front. And then of course, the other piece of that is the stress test then too.
Yeah, I want to segue real quickly back to the valuation, because I went through both a personal divorce and a business divorce and partnership changeover. This was about 8 years ago, and at the time we weren't as robust as we should have been. I want to emphasize this. Having the business value, we now do it every 2 years, actually, but having the business value actually makes your business more valuable immediately, even if there's no imminent exit. For example, I don't plan to exit indefinitely, 15, 20, 30 years, but we still have the business value because it forces us to clean it up, focus on it, and it makes it more valuable immediately. So I'm just big on that. I push that. But let's go back to the stress test. We formed something here called BORN, the Business Owner Resource Network. We're proud, and I mean proud, to have Murphy McCormack as a part of that team. We have McNeese, Wallace, and Urick, the business attorneys, the state attorneys. We have group benefits through Gunn Mowry. We now have Claudia Williams, the human zone. I mean, it's a great team there. We have Smith, Elliott, and Kearns to do the tax piece. What we put together is a package for the business owner. Now, this is designed for business owners where they're doing $5 million and up of revenue. And we put together a stress test, which the first step is we analyze their personal wealth. So we look at, do they have enough capital currently and in the future, net of the business, net of, like you said, fees, Bob, and taxes, to sustain their lifestyle. Any charitable goals they have, any lifestyle goals. But there's a big piece of that where you're involved doing the valuation, look at the business. We'd like to ask you why you think having that stress test done is so important from your side of this.
Well, I'll touch on it from 2 perspectives. One, as an ex-commercial banker, bad things happen to good people and to good businesses. And that stress test will often reveal other issues where it's depth of leadership. Maybe there needs to be some life insurance or disability insurance, other things that need to be filled. As a creditor, those things have to be resolved. I mean, whether you like it or not, when I was your banker, IRS and me were your other partners.
Is it safe to say that having a thorough stress test done can actually make the business more credit worthy?
It makes it a ton more credit worthy. And if you think about most of the acquisitions when they're being done, and if there's financing involved, the bank is asking for the buyer to get things like life insurance and disability insurance because it doesn't. It's a credit enhancement.
It's a de-risker.
It's a de-risker ultimately.
Yeah.
The second piece why I see and probably equally, if not more important, many of our business owners, the valuation gap's often driven because they think they don't know what they need post-closing to maintain their lifestyle. And many business owners, and you hear about this in your training too, is think they're going to lessen their lifestyle after the sale. That, I'm not going to travel to Europe as much. I'm not going to need the boat. I'm not going to need that. In many cases, they need more. Plus, you got the health issues that come into play post-closing. those things need to be filled, and you only can fill them with the post-tax proceeds
Yep.
and what other wealth has been developed over time. And there's things they could be doing now to take some wealth out of the business that we add back when we do the valuation.
Yep.
So cash value plans. I mean, we don't sell those. You guys do.
Yep.
Those things get added back. That's discretionary cash flow, and it's a tax deferral plan. And it's a great way to build some wealth outside the business. So it's critical that the stress test will help start that process along with the valuation, and then have a team of advisors that make sure it's structured properly.
We need to take Bob on some of our business owner meetings, have him club him over the head a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe
that sounds good.
Get him moving.
He'll be our muscle for those meetings.
I'll just threaten to wear this jacket.
There you go. Yeah,
I do that for the bankers.
jacket and muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, very good information again, and just a little bit of a taste of everything we talked about on the podcast. So for our viewers out there who are thinking about maybe engaging with you guys or just want to find out more about you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Direct phone to the office is 570-524-7253. We cover the whole state, so it's just because it's a North PA phone number. I'm in my car. I put 60,000 miles on my car this past year.
Congrats. Wow.
Or the website is www.murphymccormack.com. McCormack spelled McCormack.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Go to that site. Again, we're gonna give you some valuable information that we were able to extract out of Bob on the podcast of 5 questions that you need to be asking if you're looking at engaging with somebody. I can promise you they're going to have the right answers to it. So that's a good start if you're looking for somebody. But again, look for that resource on the website. Bob, thanks for being on the show. This was tremendously valuable, I know, for us and for all of our listeners. Next week on the show, we are going to have Mr. Michael Pavone.
The Pavone Marketing Group. He's one of the most innovative, creative, wild men I've ever had the privilege to meet. So that's going to be an interesting show.
I hope you wear the same jacket so he can give some feedback from a marketing perspective.
Well, hey, tis the season. It is the holiday season. So I will be festive with my jacket and ready to roll.
Beautiful, beautiful. Maybe I will too. We'll see.
I will probably have different shoes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, hey, again, check out the website for the full replay. Check out Murphy McCormack, and we'll see you next week on the Central PA Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond.